Meet Kite, everyone. Kite is our resident counsellor at EVDS. He counsels the other patients who are in for long stay. This little mare Stella has had a tooth had to be repelled, and we're managing a bit of a jaw infection there with it, so she's in for a longer stay, and her other buddy has gone home, so Kite's come in to keep her company. Kite's well accustomed to living in hospital because in his short 5 years of life he's managed to overcome several very serious illnesses and accidents, and has had literally hundreds of needles to help him get by. He started his life, his mum battled with placentitis, infection in the uterus, for the last 5 months of his pregnancy. Then when he was born he had septicemia as a foal, and then running around in the bush paddock he got a penetrated wound into his tendon sheath, flexor tendon sheath on a front leg, and had to go to Queensland for arthroscopic surgery for that. And then he was going great guns until about a yearling, and then he was found by his owner one morning stuck in a fence where he'd cut both of his hind cannon and cut through both extensor tendons on both legs, so he was basically walking on his fetlocks, knuckling over, trying to walk on his fetlocks. He lived at EVDS for several months with that, and it was a real challenge to get him right. In that time, the periosteum on his bone had a large dieback just due to massive exposure of it, and he sustained a pathological fracture of that cannon bone. He had an infection in the hock joint itself. We had to flush the joint. He stayed positive through the whole experience, never stopped eating, never resented getting any of his injections, and stayed very positive. And he came good with that, and several months later he knuckled over on that leg and he blew up with a large hematoma on the back right hind fetlock there. And then later on he sustained a strangulating rope injury to that leg and cut off blood supply to the foot. The foot was completely cold, no feeling, but to Kite it was just another day at the office. He overcame that. Then his most recent venture, he was running along the side of an electric fence and he kicked one of the pigtail stakes and flicked it upside down, and it drove up there into his stifle joint, so he had dirt up into his stifle joint. It cut the lateral patellar ligament in the process, and we had Dr. Steve Rayner down and he helped us get him over that. So now Kite's he's all well again till his next drama, but in the meantime he's going to be a good boy, cheering up the other patients and telling them to stay positive no matter what, because you can overcome just about anything in Kite's world.